Okay, so today, with this here 6-liter motor, we're figuring out some of the mysteries of the accessories here. I got, the accessories kind of in pieces here, so I had to piece it together to figure out how it actually works. So this is pretty much everything that the original L77 cop car motor had on it. Power steering, alternator, this is the bent up idler, which we're going to have to replace, balancer, water pump. If you remember, we had to buy a new water pump because the other one was iffy because it was banged where the radiator hose goes in, and this was loose. So that's the main reason we got a new water pump. Didn't really want to get a new one, but that's what we did. And this belt tensioner gadget here, which was on the motor, probably still good. Might replace the bearing in it, but that should be pretty simple and easy. The questionable part, well, the question that I had was, which way does stuff run on this? As you know, these serpentine belts can get a little complicated. So it looks to me like what happens is you come around the bottom of the crank like that, way up over that there tensioner. Then I just mounted the power steering pump on here. I didn't have that piece of the puzzle before. Then like that, and from there it will just go around and then up over this guy, this idler, down to the balancer again. I think that's how she's supposed to go. Okay, so we still got to pull this stuff apart. I'm going to paint the water pump orange like the rest of the engine. Paint these brackets black. I don't know if we're going to use this alternator. Maybe we will. It's making a little noise, so maybe we won't. The real trick is, since we're not running power steering, what to put here. Now, I had thought maybe we'll open up this pump, take the guts out of it, and make sure we can oil the bearings in it somehow, either pump grease into it or whatever, but basically take the pump guts out of it and just stick it on there and use it as an idler. That way, this would be factory L77 accessories it would take a factory L77 belt. We wouldn't have to guess, and we could have a pretty happy life like that. So maybe that's what we'll do. One other thing I was messing around with trying to figure out here is the heater passage. I didn't realize this before, but these two holes actually go to the same place on the water pump. They are separated by the thermostat. Right there, actually. So people say that you can't plug these off, and I don't understand why, but apparently that's what people say. So I'm not sure how to deal with that, but hey, well, the reason I'm thinking about it is because we have to go to the trouble of, since this is an older car and basically it just had a heater shut-off valve in one of these ports, well, connected to one of these ports through the hose. It's if you can't just block these off by shutting off the heater, you have to divert it somehow when you don't want heat in the car. So yeah, we'll have to figure that one out. But we got the rest of this figured out pretty well. So what we're going to do right now is tape up this pulley, pull the pump off, pull this off, and spray the water pump orange, pull these brackets off. We're going to spray the brackets black, and then we'll nail the water pump on permanently and nail these brackets on permanently. Okay, so we got the accessories all off, got them cleaned up, and I got the water pump all painted nice and orange. It's sitting on top of the Axeman Anderson here on a 2x4, so it can dry out good. And got the alternator and the power steering pump bracket all painted black. They're hanging up here in the heat. So that stuff will dry out in a little while. Then we'll bolt all that stuff on for good onto the motor. And that'll be that. One other thing was the, let me go get it. I'll leave that off. But oil fill. So this normally goes in there and sticks up. So I'm thinking, after looking at some pictures of it, it might actually stick up a bit too high. So one thing we can do is eliminate that, since that basically is a, you know, a single 90-degree turn type thing. The extension connects to these two tabs here, but the cap connects to one tab, as you can see. And it matches up with that one pretty well. I mean, I can feel that it goes down and digs into that one, but this one here is preventing it from going in. So one thing I'm debating on doing is if I remove that tab right there, this will probably go on, turn 90 degrees, and be basically like that, which would be almost perfect. So, but that's much later down the road. We got to figure out the rest of this stuff first. Okay, so this is what we came up with. The water pump's all nice and orange. Brackets are all nice and black. Managed to not get water pump pulley painted. Still got to get a new one of these. Might replace this alternator. And we got to take this apart to remove the pumpiness from it. And that should work. We are almost ready to start putting this thing in the car. Got to get the adapter motor mounts on it, which we might take the headers off for that. Well, probably we'll have to at least loosen them up. But the intake manifolds on here, we will probably take the carburetor off so it fits under the car easier. I don't know, we might have to take the dipstick back off too. That kind of sucks. That's a pain in the ass to get on and off. So it's not the bolt that's bad, it's the where it goes in down there is a little tricky to get. But yeah, that's about it.